Good afternoon, YouTube. Ramjet here. Just another quick video on some experimentation I've been playing with a 3D printer. Now, Aldi had their duplicator 3D printer for sale last week for $4.99, and I was fortunate to pick one up. And here's what I've been playing with. This is a 3D printed panel with printed holes for basically slotting in a set of standard buttons. These will be configurable in different panel sizing. I'm quite thinking the 100 by 100 and 100 by say 150s are a good size panel for a number of buttons for putting together an actual cockpit. Now this has been printed to a 2mm thickness with a 3mm edging. The good thing about this edging is it allows you to take some contact, any kind of graphic. This is a 3M styled 4D carbon fiber look. Basically it's a sticker, but it fits quite nicely into the existing lip and will fall nicely then into the holes. Now, what I was testing was just basically the general accuracy for making a panel. You know, how consistent are the holes? Will the holes didn't need any rework? The buttons perfectly slot straight in. You just do the locking up at the back, and even then the final finish is, I mean, that's, you know, it's textured, but it's not coarse by any stretch. So so what I'm going to be doing is just putting some carbon fiber overlay into this. You can do any kind of carbon graphics or space graphics, whatever you want to do. Maybe just put your lettering on that and then just print it out on a sticker and put it in. So I'll pause the video, I'll pop this on, and we'll have a look what it looks like. Hello, welcome back. We were only gone for half a second, but that's alright. So I've just put the contact on. I've just done a crosshatch, and we're just pushing these buttons into position now, and as you can see, they're going in quite easily. If I can see past the camera, what do we? Green one, why not? Green one there. Let's pop the. Oh no, I'll put the red one at the top, and the blue one in the corner. Of course, I dropped it, but anyway, thanks for bearing with me. Alright, so these are just basically just pushed in at the moment. I'll put the screws on the back in just a moment. I'll pop one there just see what it looks like. I haven't done any trimming so far. This is basically as you're seeing it live testing. And this whole panel was essentially just a test to see how accurately I could make panels without a significant amount of manufacturing work. Now, these buttons here, look, I haven't trimmed this whatsoever yet, so I can trim that with a knife. Might just do that off camera because it'll be easier when I can see it. But the buttons are going in quite nicely. Now, the thing I really like is how cost effective this kind of panel is to make. The model itself only took me, I don't know, a couple of minutes in SketchUp to make. It printed absolutely beautifully. And at 2mm, it's strong enough to be able to push buttons on, you know, with very minimal flex, but it's still got enough flex in it to bend over your cockpit and actually put a few screws in and put it in place. So you can put toggle switches on here, you can put an LCD in here, you can do pretty much anything you want. And with a set of standard sizes, you can pretty much design forward plan your cockpit and just print these out as you need them. You know, if you want a couple of buttons here, you just create some Google sketch of holes, 3D print it. At 2mm thick, according to Cura, this cost about 77 cents to print. Now, the actual box enclosures that I have done in the past have been upwards of $14 and $15 just for the plastic enclosure, not including the hour and a half it takes to create the template, place it on, pre-drill, drill all the holes, clean out the holes, and then start mounting the equipment into it. Now, if if I can 3D print a panel for 70 cents and it requires no additional rework, and I can just put the graphics straight on, labor wise this is costing practically nothing. I mean, a set of buttons on eBay, I'm sure I paid about $2.70 Australian for 6 buttons. They were stupid cheap. You know, you throw on an Arduino, and if I 3D print a small clip on the back to put your Arduino on there, it's nothing really to build a small button box, or a larger button box, or a series of button boxes. And if you have a side panel, which is, you know, X wide, or you just cut a panel up and you want to put a number of these up, absolutely ideal for fabricating cockpit panels. I mean, I literally have done this in 30 seconds. This itself only took about, or maybe 15-20 minutes to print. It wasn't very long. It was at a fairly high resolution. I should have put those nuts on after all. But the holes were spot on perfect. There was no templating required, no printing of a template, sticking it on and carefully press drilling. It was absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to continue developing this. I think this is a good way going forward for product design and so on. The final result is good enough. I think it's market ready, you know. So, one other thing. Where did I put it? Here we go. It's over here. Knock the camera. Lovely. The other thing I printed was this is a G25 bracket mount for a standard Momo wheel. Now, you know, the finish on this thing is sensational. This took about 3 hours to build. But I did this at a 40% infill. This is extremely strong. There is, honestly, I couldn't flex it with a hammer. It is spot on. I just popped these in. I used a hot soldering iron just to basically heat the nut up and let it glue itself in place, essentially. But since the steering wheel goes on top, this is exactly the perfect pattern for a G25. Now, obviously modifying it to a G27 isn't crucially difficult, but again, this is only 60 grams and it was about $1.30, I believe, to print. I'll have to double check what the software said. But it's bang on perfect. It'll slot straight into space. So yeah, 3D printers. I actually had no idea what the quality was going to be like, and for that I'm absolutely stunned. I had no idea what the strength of PLA was going to be like, and again, I'm stunned. For prototyping, for testing, for just generally coming up for ideas for products. You know, whip one up in software and, you know, a couple of hours later you're good to go. Best investment I've made so far. So with that, I'll wrap that up. This is a conclusion of 3D printing for sim racing, space anything. But you get the general idea, and I'm very impressed. I hope you are too. Righto, see you later.